Today we test the launch control feature on the GTI. We're going to talk about how does it work, how do you use it, is it even worth using because you have so much tire spin on these cars, is it hard on the car, and would you use it when you want to race someone maybe? When I hear the word launch control, I think of all-wheel drive cars, such as, of course, the STI. I love those. RS3. R8. The Golf R has come to mind in the last year or so. I've learned recently they have pretty impressive launches. But I don't usually think of a front-wheel drive car, like at all. You don't get much grip, and it's something usually saved for all-wheel drive cars. Volkswagen decided to put it on the DSG models of the GTI, which I think is pretty cool, unique, and I will take that into consideration when I compare the Mazda Speed 3 to the ST and now the GTI, because I've owned all three now. Something to keep in mind is that the launch control is part of the TCU upgrade, so if you get a TCU Stage 1 or Stage 2, it comes with upgraded launch control features. A stock car launches at around 3,000 RPM. When you're all the way at stage 2 like I am with Unitronic, it ups that to 4,000 RPM for launch control. But like I said, this is under the TCU tuning for the transmission, not the ECU. Something that can be confusing when you're going out and looking for specs, comparing different tuning and stuff like that. You're looking under the TCU, the transmission side of things, for launch control. To enable launch control on this car, all you have to do is turn traction control off, put it in sport mode or manual mode, hold the brake with your left foot, floor the gas, and then let off the brake. It's that simple. Something to keep in mind, if you have a device like an OBD11, which we talked about in a recent video, you can turn the traction control all the way off with this. It only turns off about 70% if I had to put a number on it from factory. I'm assuming it's a safety thing, but you can't turn it all the way off. Now, to go fast in these cars, a lot of it you're going to have to brake traction, and this car doesn't like that by the nature of the company that made this car wanting to keep it safe, and you want to be able to get traction and not just burn your tires off. But when you're doing race car things, you can lose traction, that's okay, because these cars rip when the traction control is off. Especially to have that little bit of extra traction off and being able to spin the tires to get you going, that's super necessary to make something like launch control work as good as it can to get you off the line. You might not get as much traction, but you're actually going to get off the line faster depending on the tire and wheel setup you have. So overall, just turning the traction control all the way off with a device like an OBD11 is huge. So keep that in mind when you think about getting into this part of the GTI. If you don't have one of these air fresheners in your GTI, I'm going to be disappointed. Go to karmasweet.com, grab one of those, we'll ship it out to you right away. It's coming out of the house. Me and Randall will get it packaged, and you can have your car smelling nice, and it looks pretty rad. Are you going to break your car when you're using launch control on the GTI? The axles are so beefy on this thing in the front. When you look underneath the car for your first time and you look at them, they're huge. And I don't think it's something that you really have to worry about with this car. Not only because are the axles plenty big for a normal bolt-on horsepower, but you have so much torque going to the front wheels that it spins so easily almost on any tire setup. And when you have a ton of grip like these all-wheel drive cars do, it puts a ton of strain on axles, the transmission, everything in the drivetrain. Things flex. So when no matter what setup you have on a GTI, it spins, it doesn't really have too much stress on any of those parts of the car, so you really don't have to worry about it too much. Would I do this every day, all the time on my daily driver? Nah, you want to take care of it, but it's something that I would not hesitate using if the time presented itself, because the car's built, it's fine. They think about these things when they allow a stock car to have it, and they know how to build a car, how strong it needs to be to withstand something like launch control over and over and over. I really wouldn't worry about using this at all in the sense of it hurting your car. Me personally, I just won't be doing it every day, but I won't be holding back at all, like I said. It is time to test out launch control for the first time. We're on 19-inch wheels. Not the best for this, not going to get the most grip, but I like the way it looks, I like the way it feels. It's my style. We've got Toyo Proxy Sport AS is on here. It's about a 20,000 mile tire. So it's sticky, but not overly crazy or anything absurd. Just a normal daily driver tire that grips pretty well. My mentality going into this is going to be nothing like an all-wheel drive launch. I have low expectations, so if we get any sort of grip for a front-wheel drive car, this is going to be cooler than what I'm used to with a Mazda Speed 3 or a Focus ST, or even the manual version of this where you kind of just dump the clutch and go. We'll see if the DSG has a good pull off the line and this launch control, if it is an advantage or not. First step, traction control off. We're going to put it in manual mode so it knows it's in sport. And then I'm gonna move left foot on the brake, hold the gas down, and it revs up to 4,000. Let's see what this is like. It's gonna make a lot of noise, tire screeches. Holy cow, that ripped! It just held it for a second and then just bop! I did not see that coming. I shifted way too early into second. It wanted to hang in the top of first gear and keep going. But I got scared and shifted to second. Dang, let's go. The GTI does not disappoint. Let's go set up where we were just at and get you guys a view from the outside in slow motion of what this is like. Just got some slow-mo footage of the launch so we can kind of dissect it here in a little bit. I'm headed home. I got the AC on full blast. It's really hot here in Phoenix right now. I feel terrible for the car. But hey, the computer does what it's supposed to. Pulls, timing, relies on boost a little more. Unitronic's put this thing through the test in the heat and they've gotten feedback from everyone. Shouldn't have anything to worry about. This car was made for this, so I'm not going to trip about it. I can tell you right now that me being kind of overly critical about taking care of my cars, it would make me feel kind of guilty if I did this all the time. But after dissecting the slow-mo footage, I don't think it's really that hard on the car. But it feels that way because it is a way more abrupt takeoff than I expected for a front-wheel drive car in such a good way that I'm excited about, as you can tell by my energy level. I'm gonna come back out tonight when the weather's a little better. We'll get a good launch with some colder air intake temperatures. You can get behind the wheel and see what it's like a little bit better. And then we'll dissect the slow-mo footage to finish this video. The first spot was much grippier than the second spot I went to for this point of view angle. Noted. Taking a look at the footage, getting everything slowed down to 25%. Driving up. So you notice when the car takes off, watch the rear end squat. The rear end squats and the front tires are not slipping yet. This is what's so good about this. So it's throwing you back in your seat at this point, but the tires have not broken loose yet. It gets you rolling and then it starts to spin out. Bravo, a combination of Volkswagen and Unitronic. For a front wheel drive car, that is pretty cool.